Hello and welcome everyone to another single session stream where we have returned to Radical Dreamers and our journey through the New Game Plus endings. We only have two left, ending 6 and ending 7. Ending 6 was going to take a while. Ending 7 is rather short. So no real... not sure which one you guys prefer to see first in terms of these endings, but we should be able to squeeze in both before the end of this stream. But how is everyone doing? There's no music at this point, so don't worry about that. We'll worry about the sounds later. Let's see. Shorter first, probably. Short to refamiliarized and long. Okay. Oh, we have tomorrow off. That would be nice, Cat EV. Get a 3-day weekend, I think. Very nice. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having a decent day, all things considered. As we slowly, very slowly work our way through this massive backlog of single session streams that I have lined up for myself. And potentially, once we get through those, eventually, we'll be able to start our God of War marathon. Because that's where it's taking place. Since if we have to wait till the end of Mega Man, it's going to take a little while. So we're going to just do a variation. Oh, I see, Cat Evie. Doing okay. Had to help my mom with teaching some kids in advance. Oh, hey, at least you're able to help out. I hope you enjoy Toy Story 5. I'm waiting for it to die down a bit, then I'll probably try to take Kai. So that should be fun. Yeah, the long ones. According Fifth in Line has given me a nice breakdown of what I need to do to get these endings, and the long one will have to skip through text quite a bit because it's essentially the entire game. So there is that. The other thing you mentioned, and you have to remind me of this, Fifth in Line, since it has been a while. Oh, hey, we got some sounds. If I start up, I want to start with this one, but then save to this, correct? How do we, what's the best way to handle this in my situation? So start this one, save here. Okay. Oh, that sounds like a good day, Ice Climber. Saving the first slot after the credits. Yes, start save file 1, save and save file 2. Perfect. That'll take care of that. All right. As a reminder, the full Radical Dreamers playthrough can be found on Amy's. Well, technically, the first half of it can be found on Amy's, and then we did finish it later, but she hasn't been able to get that other VOD up. And as far as the other endings, that is up on the first set of endings as part of the single session stream, a single session playlist on the channel. So a little bit all over the place, but that's all right. I feel like I've heard of Kagurabachi, Greg. So I'm glad you're enjoying it, though. All right. Let's go ahead and start this up. And I guess to get us familiar, let's go ahead and begin with ending 7, the short one. For you guys' familiarity, should we reread a lot of this stuff, or just get to the new stuff? Sorry, I got a smudge on my glasses. There we go. Oh, it's one of the newer flagship shown series. Is that the one that's all about like one person talking? It's all like a set up for a joke type thing. I feel like I talked about it a bit with Brandon, because the subject came up due to Oda being a big fan of that form of storytelling. Rakugo, yeah, it's all about Rakugo. Smashman, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Saying tonight's Nintendo Music Update is F099. The game doesn't really have credited composers. Instead, it has audio lead James Phillipson and audio by Eric Pansela. Eric's only other credit I could find was the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, while James has been working with Nintendo since Wave Race Blue Storm, even doing music for Bowser's Fury. I must say that they did a really good job with the arrangements and new compositions, legit sounding like something out of the SNES original. Yeah, I remember enjoying it. This smudge is being a pain in my neck. You know those smudges that you wipe and they just kind of go all over? Oh, Akane Banashi is the Rakugo. Okay. All right. The old lady's tip-off was right on the money. The counterspell and the barrier around the outer walls could have done a real number on us. Kid's plain, unadorned braid flicked back and forth across her shoulders as she walked. We picked our way through the elaborate lattice of the manor's magic shields, moving in closer and closer to Lord Lynx's stronghold. There were 3 of us, Kid, Magil, and me. I watched as Kid's braid flicked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I started feeling very sleepy indeed. I tried and failed to stifle an enormous yawn. And before I knew it, I was asleep. Serge? Oi, Serge, I'm talking to you. My head jerked upward as I snapped back to consciousness. Idiot that I was, I managed to drift off. As I came back to my senses, I looked up to see the hulking shadow of Lynx's manor looming over us. Hey, Super Paper Games. Zario, this is Radical Dreamers. This is a text adventure sequel to Chrono Trigger that only released in Japan for the longest time. It's also formed the basis of what Chrono Cross would be, even though it's very different in a lot of tones. However, it was only available for the Satellaview, so it was kind of lost media for a while. There were fan versions, but to get an official re-release as part of the Chrono Cross re-release, it's kind of a big deal. And I've seen the main game. I've seen 5 of the 7 endings, but we're working on these final 2 endings right now. Wakey, wakey, sleepyhead, we've got work to do. Her hands had hardly reached me before she jumped onto the terrace and disappeared within. Wait up, kid. Flustered, I rushed after her. Yeah, New Game Plus does seem to rely on sleeping a lot. Wow. Smash Matt with 100 bits saying, before I forget, happy 45th anniversary to Donkey Kong. Really wish Nintendo would treat this game with the same reverence it does Super Mario Brothers. Maybe then people won't keep confusing Mario's debut with that game. Can't begin to tell you how annoyed I am with when people treat Super Mario Brothers anniversary with Mario's birthday. Not helped by Nintendo and Miyamoto often treating it like the same thing sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's difference between a console release and an arcade release and just how much the, you know, that console release is just more significant to Mario's brand. Especially because in the Donkey Kong sequel, he's a bit of an animal abuser. Claxon with 100 bits, thanks so much. Saying Kagurabachi is about a guy with one of 7 legendary katana, which I think Brandon also mentioned during Wano for obvious reasons. Cool. Sounds fun. Water. Hello, lass. A corridor stretched off to the left and right from the terrace. It seemed equally dark and chilly in both directions. All right, where's our way in? Kid's casual comments settled our nerves. Matchel quietly surveyed our surroundings. Meanwhile, I found myself distracted by how cold the sweat on my forehead felt. It was only when I reached to wipe the sweat from my brow and turn my head slightly that I happened to see it. The subscription from Super Paper Games, specifically through Prime, so thank you for that. Super Paper Games saying, hope you all doing well today. Had a fun day today traveling around with my family. Oh, nice. Hope you got to do a lot of fun things. Maybe the thought behind all this, behind sleeping is that you contribute all the weird endings to being a dream. Fair enough. A soft glimmer of light. At least I thought that's that was what I saw. A gentle glow coming from a decorative window close to the ceiling. But as much as I strained my eyes to try and catch it again, I couldn't. Oi, Serge, you'd better not be sleeping on the job. We'll leave you for the guards to find. Kid and Magil were already far down the passageway. How long had I been standing there? And we want to rush after them. A corridor stretched off to the left and right from the terrace. It seemed equally dark in both directions. Oh, hold on. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out this. Study is to the left. Hold on, there has to be a better way for me to get this. Okay. Sorry, just getting all my stuff in order. Forgot about the map, though. It was kind of nice to have. All right. Go left down the corridor. Hey, Ugrapon. We took the corridor leading from the left-hand side of the terrace, eventually arriving at an intersection with some stairs. The path to the right led down the stairs, the path to the left was a dark side passage, and the main corridor continued straight onward. We went the side passage on the left. We headed down the side passage. At the end of it, we came to an old, immaculately polished door. Excuse me. Oh. Well, at least you still get a bed. Don't have to be on the couch. Super Paper Games. Let's go inside. Kid gently pushed the door ajar and peeked into the room. The next thing I knew, she slipped inside. Magil and I followed. Looks like a study. The room was lit by the moonlight coming through the long, slender windows, slanting down in pale beams through the darkness. It was pretty big for a study, with an immaculate antique desk dominating the center. There were rows of bookshelves lined with thick, dusty old tomes. How's the sound levels now? I actually got proper music going on. At least decisions aren't timed. Yeah. Playing Cyber playing Pizza Tower for the first time, loving it a lot. Post soundtracks. I had a good time when we played through it. Game audio. I felt like the game audio was a bit loud. There we go. Okay. The wall to the rear of the room was decorated with paintings, and the shelves and vases shelves of vases and painted plates stood before it. They all seemed to be curios from foreign lands. And we want to check the bookshelves. I walked over to a bookshelf and examined the spines of the neatly arranged volumes. The titles I could make out consisted of ancient-seeming words that I had no way of interpreting, and most of the books seemed to be written in exotic foreign scripts. I pulled out the closest one, and holding the weighty tome with both hands, I opened it, not looking for anything in particular. Strange symbols, the likes of which I'd never seen before, crawled and danced across the pages, as if they were alive. What was this? I squinted, looked sideways, tried bringing the page close to my face, but I just couldn't seem to make the words sit still enough to make them out. I turned to another page on the off chance there'd be something useful, but all I found was a chaotic dance of the same old symbols. Just looking at them made my head hurt. Hey, what do you think this is? Huh? Kid came over to my side and peered at the book. That right there is what happens when you put a cipher spell on something. Ain't gonna make out a bloody word with that in place. Too bad, eh? Kid looked up and flashed me an almost conciliatory grin. You probably don't want to know what's in there anyhow. These all look like pretty nasty spell books to me. Wouldn't be surprised if a whole lot of them were cursed. Klaxon, thank you so much for the 300 bits saying, poo-hoo-hoo, I'm so excited for Saturday that I took over death. Oh boy. You're the murderer. You thought about Captain Rainbow for the first time in a while today? Why would that be, lass? Which means you probably want to be pretty careful. Never know what might come flying out. The moment the words came out of her mouth, I heard dark whispers of what sounded like a distant screech coming from inside the one I was holding. I slammed it shut and shoved it back into its place on the shelf. Magil, meanwhile, was looking thoughtfully at another bookshelf. He reached out for a leather-bound tome. Could this be? What you found, Mag? Anything familiar? Kid looked over. Her curiosity piqued. An ancient grimoire known as the Book of the Dead. Go see Evil Dead Burn, I suppose. Who would have thought I would encounter it here? He stared intently at the decaying old cover. So all you have at this point, Fifth, is go to the main hall. Does it matter what I pick here? Or the mummy? My curiosity got the better of me despite Kid's earlier warning. Let's take a look inside. Could be interesting. He seemed to hesitate for a moment before nodding silently and carefully turning to the first page. I could have sworn I heard a clunk followed by the sound of whirring cogs. The wheels of fate had been set in motion. I looked at the page Magil had opened the book to. It was bare. Hold up, is the whole thing blank? Kid sounded almost disappointed. Magil turned to another page, then another. Each was as empty as the last. Talk about a letdown. What do you say we fill it in with a few choice words of our own, boys? Before we could stop her, Kid had grabbed a pen. Lynx is a bloody bastard and we'll be doing the world a favor when we finally get him. That'll do. You sure? I could go on. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. It wasn't a loud knock, but in the bottomless silence of the night, it might as well have been a thunderclap. Kid and I stood bolt upright and turned toward it. Magil, meanwhile, hid in the shadows, drifting away like smoke. Panicked, I whispered to Kid. Behind the door in the shadows. The wheel of fate is turning. Quick! Get behind the door! We kept our bodies low as we silently and swiftly made for the back of the door, where the shadows would keep us hidden. We pressed our backs to the wall and did our best to still our breathing. Slowly, the door opened. Flickering candlelight spread from the doorway with a warm glow. I held my breath, but it seemed that whoever it was didn't mean to come in. They simply stood there. Strange. I thought I heard something. But the lord of the manor is away, of course. Why would there be anyone in here? I have to get over my nerves. Everything was fine until we heard the news that Pore was on the move. The figure quietly closed the door, plunging the room back into darkness. The voice trailed off to a whisper. We remained motionless, keeping our ears pricked for any sign of an unwelcome return. All we heard were the footsteps moving away, and the sound that I need to charge my Pro Controller. There we go. Kiragosa, thanks so much for the 100 bits, saying, I'm planning to get a small repair done on my new 3DS XL. The A button is being finicky as it sometimes doesn't register it pressed a certain way, and the control stick's rubber has peeled off. I know a repair place that can work on it, but it will cost me some money. I think it's a worthy endeavor. May resume Ever Oasis afterwards. Yeah, that definitely seems... I mean, the A button... I mean, my rubber on my analog stick is going away as well, my main 3DS, my recording 3DS. But I don't think it's enough of a problem for me to get worried about. But button sticking like that, that'd be more of an issue. So hopefully it's done fixed quickly. I got Damon and Baby yesterday since it was on sale, and what they do with the character in that game made me think of Captain Rainbow. Oh, all right. I don't know much about Damon and Baby. So Pore has made its move. Magil emerged from the shadows, contemplating the news we'd overheard. Kid, if the rumors are true, we might well be about to find ourselves in a very difficult situation. This seemed to set her thinking too. Pore was a powerful nation that ruled the southern continent. I'd heard it was a prosperous land whose recent and sudden development had pushed it far ahead of its neighbors, which made me wonder, what would its inhabitants want here out in the sticks? They couldn't be after the frozen flame too, could they? As valuable as it might be, a jewel was just a jewel in the grand scheme of things. I couldn't imagine it being an item of national interest. I mean, ultimately, it was just a pretty rock, right? Let them do what they want. If everyone's busy playing soldiers, they won't be bothering us. Come on, we've got things to do. She headed for the door. We left the room and made our way back down the side passage. Okay, I think we're locked in because I was just returned to go to the main hall. We made our way back down to the dark side passage leading from the study. Eventually, we arrived back to the intersection. Actually, main hall is an actual spot. Yes, main hall is a spot, so we got to go continue left. Okay. I was thinking main hallway. I looked in the door. I looked in the Book of the Dead, and I hid behind the door. Now I have to go left to the main hall. So let's take the left branch. We need double doors. And go inside. Kid gently pushed the heavy doors open and peeked inside. Alright, we're going in. We stepped into the main hall. Dozens of flickering candles gave the room an eerie glow. Huge roses adorned the walls, and the floor was decorated with a beautiful floral pattern. What the hell? We'd found something else to add to the spectacle. A gathering of well-dressed ladies and gentlemen dancing a waltz in perfect silence. Our jaws dropped and the doors swung slowly shut with a creak behind us. We tried them, but they wouldn't budge. We were locked in. Oi, what the hell's going on here? Yelled Kid, raising her fist at a maid who happened to be passing by. Magil pushed her hand back to her side. They're ghosts. He pointed to the maid's feet, and I realized I could see the floor through them. The dancing gentry, the simpering ladies, all of them were little but wisps from the knees down. Ghosts? Suddenly everyone turned to face us. We were in the haunted mansions, and they wanted us to be the happy haunts. And just as quickly, the spirits looked heavenward and vanished, silent screams contorting their ethereal features. Yeah, I don't think we're getting another remake anytime soon, Super Paper Games. No worries, Fifth. Oh ho ho, I do hope you enjoyed our little dance. The girlish giggle echoed around the room. Kid looked at the crystal chandelier above us. Who's up there? Get down here now. As soon as she said it, the figure of a young woman came floating to the floor. And who do you think you are? Kid glared suspiciously at the mysterious stranger. I am Lilith, goddess of death. Lynx brought me here. When I came, I claimed the body of this girl, Riddle, as my corporeal vessel. Oh yeah? What's a goddess of death doing giving us the time of day, huh? I came to thank you. It was you who freed me from Lynx's grasp, after all. Was it not you who inscribed his name in the Book of Souls? Lilith looked Kid dead in the eye. Wait, you mean that Book of Death thingy Mag found? Lilith didn't answer. She just kept staring right at Kid. The room suddenly felt terribly cold. It is my duty to freeze the souls of those whose names are inscribed therein. Lilith reached into her robes and produced a crimson jewel. Witness my latest masterwork. The frozen flame! Kid and I both exclaimed in unison. One of many. Lynx's instinct certainly cannot be faulted. Of all the souls with which to imbue the gem, truly his was the one. Its luster, its hue, it is truly beautiful. A beauty, ironically, that such a Philistine as he could not hope to appreciate. Her eyes narrowed as she admired the stone, and a dark haze began to manifest in her right hand. It quickly took form, shaping itself into a great scythe. And then, in an instant, its crescent blade had flashed through the darkness. And the frozen flame had shattered into 1,000 pieces. Thus end the cruel machinations that imprisoned me in the body of Riddle. Lynx is dead. His soul is no more. Oh, that was easy. Crushing the shards of the frozen flame underfoot, she raised her left hand. Another black haze began to coalesce, this time taking the form of a book. The Book of the Dead. Lilith turned and handed it to Kid, her expression as cold as ice. Write another name. Choose another soul for me to harvest. Things were getting seriously out of hand. What was I going to do? I guess it doesn't matter at this point, so... Let's we know how Kid gets, so let's refuse on her behalf. I couldn't stay still. We're not cold-blooded killers, I yelled. Shut up, Serge. She wasn't talking to you, said Kid, yanking hard on my ear. Think about it. Think what we could do with an actual goddess of death on our side. Oh God, she's been given a death note. It's literally death note. Years before. I guess it shouldn't have surprised me that she'd actually consider such a thing. Typical Kid. And then the scythe was slicing through the air, coming down right between Kid and me. Oi, you looking for a fight? Kid reached for her knife. I do not intend to force you to choose a name, and do not misunderstand me. I simply wish to repay you for freeing me. She floated back up into the air. I am a harvester of souls. I do not take sides. I am no one's to command. She was leaving, but could we really let her? Let's ask Magil what to do. Wait, that's a goddess of death, and I'm death, and Kid has a death note. Wait, I'm confusing myself now. You got to go with the idea of multiple Shinigami. Are we just going to let this goddess of death do whatever she wants? I turned to Magil and found myself talking to no one. He must have vanished at some point. I was suddenly very, very afraid. Lilith, meanwhile, had stopped mid-exit. Something was holding her back, something that had a vice-like grip on her ankle. A muscular arm had reached out from the darkness. Not so fast, Lady Lilith. You are coming with me. We must return together to the realm of shadows. Okay, now we got Yu-Gi-Oh in here. Oh gosh, that's such a long day, Eggroll. I'm so sorry. Magil stepped into the light, but something was off. He didn't sound like himself. Curse you, Shadow Hunter! Lilith's features twisted into a scowl as she looked down at him. The Order of Darkness must be sorely wanting of aid to call in ones such as yourself. Did they really think you capable of capturing me? It has been centuries now since you came to this world, milady. Your powers will surely have waned. Are you sure of that? Her scythe came down with blinding speed and sent Kid flying through the air. I made the run and help her, but the sight of her stopped me in my tracks. An ethereal light was pulsing from her chest. Well, Magil, if you don't hurry, your friend's soul will freeze. A vicious, self-satisfied grin slowly formed on Lilith's face. Hey, I'm the one who saved your sorry arse, remember? Roared Kid defiantly. My apologies. The situation has changed somewhat. Bloody charming, you backstabbing hoity-toity old... But Kid's anger was wasted on Lilith, who was focused solely on her conflict with Magil. He launched a fire spell only for her to deftly evade it, leaving it hurtling toward us. The ball of flames was on a collision course with Kid, but she rolled it aside at the last moment, shouting at Magil that he was a cack-handed drongo, who should watch where he blooded well aimed with his bloody spells. He retorted that he had no need to worry about what happened to Kid now that he'd found Lady Lilith, and that we would have to learn to look after ourselves. Kid was less than happy to hear this and flew into a rage. Another bloody backstabber! Can't trust anyone these days! And then she collapsed to the floor, clutching her chest. The light was now pouring from inside her, and it seemed like her soul would fly out of her body at any moment. But she wasn't so easily overcome. She struggled back to her feet and looked me squarely in the eye. Can't even trust you, Surge. If I don't get out of this alive, I'm going to haunt you good. You mark my bloody words. She never could just ask for help when she needed it. Magil and Lilith's battle had escalated even further. They zipped back and forth in front of me like two shadowy blurs. Steel clashed with fire as Lilith countered Magil's spells with her scythe. Sparks, embers, and gouts of flame flew left and right, threatening to rain down on Kid. I threw my body over hers in an attempt to protect her. Kid, are you okay? My jaw dropped when I opened my eyes to look at her. The glow emanating from her chest had become a brilliant light, which was quickly solidifying. A new frozen flame formed above her inert body, glowing a gleaming crimson. Everything went dark, and I tried to grab Kid's hand with what little strength I could muster. Behind me, a raging inferno blazed. It is time! You will return to the realm of shadows! Lilith's body was engulfed in a cacophony of flames. No! How could I fail? Framed by the fire's light, a shadow leapt from the charred remains of the body she had occupied. Killed Riddle. Yeah, pretty much Super Paper Games. Magil's just whoever he needs to be. Though canonically, it's Magus. It was a shadow in the shape of a woman. It fell to the floor and lay there, motionless. Magil walked over, calmly lifted the silhouette from the floor, and stuffed it into his chest. I could hear a tear-choked voice coming from somewhere inside his body. Must I leave this world of light so soon for that place of darkness? Please, just for a moment, let me glimpse the dawn one last time. Forgive me, Lady Lilith, but our Lord has waited long enough already. No good will come of testing his patience further, replied Magil coldly. He moved back toward the shadows. Wait, you can't leave. You got to bring Kid back. I pulled at his arm before he could slip away. That task must fall to you. Only the warmth of your heart can thaw her soul. You must lay your heart bare. With that, he finally sank into the shadows and vanished. I held Kid's frozen soul tightly in my hands and thought over everything we'd been through together. But the more I thought, the more I remembered all the horrible situations she'd gotten me into. She was selfish, greedy, a constant troublemaker, and for all I knew, she didn't give a damn about me. But even so, I loved her, and before I knew it, I was crying. Suddenly, the palms of my hands felt hot. A fiery light erupted from within the jewel. And then, the frozen flame thawed. The fire flickered, exploded into a rainbow of light, and melted back into Kid's body. Good night, Gregster. You take care. Her chest began to move gently up and down. She was breathing again. Kid! I only just had time to cry out her name before she threw me to the floor. What the hell you doing, you bloody pervert? Get your filthy hands off me. Thank the gods you're alive. Thought you could cop a feel while I was out, did ya? She was back. After Madrill returned to the realm of shadows, we never saw or heard from him again. Having lost such a perfect partner in crime, Kid soon washed her hands of the thieving business. When she did, she told me she decided to try being a normal girl. I didn't believe her, of course. But I was wrong. When I next came home from plying my troubadouring trade, she was there waiting for me, and she was beautiful. I was completely lost for words. My travels resumed the next day, but I did not intend to wander far, because she promised to give me a reply to the question I had asked her once I returned. There's some sweet endings in this if you like shipping Surge and Kid. And there we go. There's our other ending. And now for one that's far, far more complicated. Read the credits. Nope. Surge is alone. I don't think this means he got denied though. I think this is him wandering, like going on the travels while she stays behind, and him pondering what the answer is going to be. Oh wow, you're already up to chapter 10. You must not be doing a lot of side stuff, Dan Alpha. Oh, just for the credits. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's other times we have all three. Some just Surge and Kid. It's funny to think how much sassier, based on my memories, how much sassier Kid is in Radical Dreamers than she is in Chrono Cross. And even in Chrono Cross, she's pretty sassy. She's sassy, so minus speed plus special defense. Nah, she thinks more speed. That's a good question, Super Paper Games. I'm not sure why they didn't translate the credits. You'd think they would. Yeah, we're going to be going through the dialogue rather quickly for this last one. Other than what Fifth in Line has marked as Step 4 and the end of Step 5. Oh, man. Next ending is good, but takes a lot more effort to get through. Finn? That's not Japanese. There we go. Death in the Realm of Shadow. Alright, I forgot about the Great Space Chase. What the hell? Alright. How do we do the save? Okay. Select. Continue. Then save in slot 1. menu for X. All right. There was with a flower. Coming back. Okay, we already read all this. And we need to fall asleep. Rush after her. Oh, looks like we automatically rushed after her. Interesting. Oh, no, not yet. All right, rush after. Hold on. Sorry, getting a better map for myself. I got stuff all over to keep track of. All right. Go to the treasure vault. So we need to go right. And that's the clock tower, so we need to continue on. And we need to go inside the treasure room. Alright. Get the vault key by following the same procedure by acquiring the first ending. So now we gotta go to Lynx's chamber, because this doesn't open. Let's see. That's execution chamber. Where's the vault key? Lynx's chamber. So we gotta go back toward the terrace. Continue on. Keep following. And let's go down the stairs. And then we want to go to the right. And let's go ahead and save. That's kind of impressive, Vith. 1-8 door on the right-hand side. Continue. And we go inside his chamber. Get like a speed run of this, essentially. Freaky. Somebody here speaking. Oh no. Oh, there's a whispering mirror. Whatever. Oh, it's a good song. You're very, very into it. Ask where the key to the vault is. Are you sure? We could find out the kid's measurement. She already thinks we are pervert. HD Bailey, thank you so much for the raid. What are you guys playing? More Skies of Arcadia Legends. I thought you'd be... Oh, that's right. I heard that you were doing multiple playthroughs to get ready for a for an actual Let's Play, essentially. Our Thursdays are single session streams where we play any random game that chat requests, as long as they get the channel points for it. And this is our second time back to, well, technically my fourth time streaming this game between two different channels, because I was with my partner Amy's when she played through it. Well, basically we're going for all the new game plus endings, and we're on the very last one that we're working through. So hope you're still enjoying Skies of Arcadia. We're in the area where you find the second moon crystals right now. So slowly making progress. Let's see, find out where the key is. I have to imagine you've played definitely Chrono Trigger, probably Chrono Cross. If you ask for kids' measurements, the mirror gives you kids' height, bracelet size, and necklace size. Oh, that's good. I like that. All right. So we need to go back to the study. Continue. Go up the stairs. The quarter to the right will lead us to the main hall. Quarter to the left is toward the terrace. I guess the side passage. Yeah. All right, back inside to the study. We want purple book in the far... Purple cup book in the far bookcase. Alright. Got what we came for. And step 4 is going to be all new, so we're going to actually read the dialogue some more. right towards the terrace. Keep going down the corridor. Continue on. Let's go ahead and save just for safe. This should do it. Kids slipped the key we'd found into the lock. Lines of magical light flashed across the surface of the door and vanished as various magical barriers were dispelled. Up, down, left, right, blue, red, green, every color under the sun, and then all was quiet and the darkness of the manor returned. Right, we're in. Oh, go up. What happened? Oh, it's Lynx's chamber. Whoops. Got ahead of myself. Man, good thing I had the impulse to save all of a sudden. Turn back. Klaxon, sorry about... Thank you for the 100 bits reminding me. Continue on. Keep following. Hey, Alien K. What's the question? What's up? Go down the stairs. Continue on our way. There we are. So Vanguard, this is the original follow-up to Chrono Trigger. It was originally released for the Satellaview on the SNES. But obviously, that was never brought to the States. And there were rough translations from recordings of the Satellaview, but it was never fully released. But thanks to the Chrono Cross collection, Radical Dreamers collection that came out, or edition that came out a few years ago, they finally included it. And so this is sort of the rough idea of what a sequel to Chrono Trigger could be. And some of the elements did make it into Chrono Cross. Man, I have ideas on making a comic. It's really funny. So I wanted to tell me anything to add to it. 1 or 2 is okay, but 3+ isn't okay. Anything to add to it? Let's go with an exploding pie and how random do we get? Exploding pie and sorry, I'm just sort of looking around the room. And a genie in a toaster. I don't know. Just randomly came to my head. Still nobody home. It didn't matter how many times we came here, I was never going to be able to shake the sense of unease this place gave me. Shall we try speaking to the mirror again? Kid and Magil both nodded in response. I pulled the scarlet cloth away. There was already an image floating on the mirror's surface. That's this room, isn't it? Magil stared intently around the walls. That one. We set about examining the wall he'd pointed at, but no matter how much we patted, tapped, and prodded, we couldn't get any part of it to budge. I don't understand, said Magil, crossing his arms in thought. Kid, meanwhile, was kicking the wall ferociously, her patience clearly having gotten the better of her. She had a tendency to resort to brute force when she didn't have any better idea of how to solve a problem. And 9 times out of 10, this only served to make the problem even worse. Leave the poor wall alone, kid. Beating it up isn't going to help. She glanced around sulkily, her eyes coming to rest on a quill pen. Fine, I'll tickle it instead. She grabbed the pen and started lightly brushing the feathery end against the surface of the wall. As soon as she did, the seemingly solid brickwork began to bulge and bend violently. Kid was as shocked as anyone, jumping back and shouting, "What the hell?" A low stifled laugh reverberated through the room. Wait, the wall is laughing? Let's see now. She tiptoed toward it again, feather outstretched, and tickled it ever so gently. And sure enough, it bent and buckled again, seemingly desperate to escape the torture. As it did so, the blocks ground against one another, and a sizable hole opened up in one corner with a shower of sandy dust. The wall had fallen away, leaving a gap just about big enough for a person to pass through. Well, that's one way to hide a doorway, said Kid, kicking a pile of debris that had accumulated at her feet. Choices don't affect the ending, but if you choose not to follow Kid, you'll miss out on a big scene. Okay. Yeah, well, I want to see what the newly revealed opening is. We step cautiously through the opening into the space beyond. Not exactly feature-filled as rooms go, eh? Kid wasn't wrong. The place was completely bare. There's literally nothing here. There was no furniture, no fixtures of any kind, not even a window. It was spacious, but as devoid of ornament as a prison cell. That is, except for a large stone slab in the center. What do we have here? Kid muttered, bending down toward the stone as if something had caught her attention. I went over to see what she's looking at, that's for sure. Follow off after Kid. Choosing not to follow us funny dialogue, so we could see both if we wanted. We'll save just in case we want to. So for this, it'd be just like either of the other two would get the funny dialogue. Fifth in line. Oh, you guys are talking Smash mains for some reason. Mine's two I remember offhand. It's been a while. Zelda and Pit. I wish I could use Simon. I'll just make okay. What is it, Kid? I walked over to the center of the room to get a closer look. As I approached, I saw that there was some kind of crystal embedded in the middle of the slab. I stepped up next to Kid to get a better view. What do you make of it, Kid? I reckon it must have something to do with these symbols carved all over the stone. Shame I can't read the bloody things. I examined Kid. Kid? What are you staring at? I didn't get to stare for much. much longer. I was too busy reeling from a stinging left hook. Ow. I sniffled sorrowfully for a moment. Got punched. The large rectangular slab lay flat in the center of the room like a sort of broad pedestal. As Kid had pointed out, its surface was covered with strange markings that had to be letters of some kind. In the middle of it all was a spherical crystal, the bottom half of which was embedded in the stone beneath. We need to know what it says. Mag will probably be able to figure it out, eh? I mean, I can guess enough to know it's probably something about how super important the crystal is or whatever. Come to mention it, it's probably worth a bob or two, eh? Having realized this, she reached out her hand out toward it. As she touched it, it seemed almost to glow for a brief moment, and then everything went white. We opened our eyes to find ourselves in an arena? What the? Don't ask me, mate. I'm as clueless as you are for once. Kid was clearly no less surprised than me. But seriously, what exactly was going on? Wherever we were, only she and I had made it there. Where's Magil? Beats me. I haven't got a bloody clue what's going on here, unless we got, I don't know, magicked away somewhere. When you say magicked, well, like there might have been a spell that magics at whatever's on top of that slab off somewhere else when you touch the crystal thingy, which would explain why Mag didn't make it along for the ride. Yeah, that makes sense. So no Mag, huh? So afraid so. So where are we? Beats me. It looks like some kind of coliseum, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't the middle of the day when we left. Something tells me we ain't in the real world. What do you mean? I mean, it's an illusion, you drongo. None of this is real, but at the same time, it sort of is real. Whoever set this up must be one heck of an illusionist. Just at that moment, a self-satisfied chuckle floated to us on the air. Kid? Panicked, I looked at Kid for help. Who's there? Shouted Kid. She looked around the arena, but her challenge was met with silence. There wasn't a single sound in the vast sunlit space. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the entrance tunnel on the opposite side from us. I bid you welcome to the Colosseum. This is the scene I could actually miss. Okay. The figure's voice rang out across the space between us. I shouted, "Who are you?" I wanted to bravely demand who we were dealing with, but my voice failed me. Kid also seemed to have been struck dumb and could only growl warily. Please, you need not be so flustered. I ask only that you hear me out. But first, an introduction. I am Ganju, Master of Mysteries. And this, as you correctly surmise, my dear, is a place of illusions. So saying, he proceeded to levitate, floating at around head height above the ground. The Colosseum, as you may have guessed, is a battleground. Only those who emerge victorious are able to return to the world from whence they came. What? And on this momentous occasion, friends, the illusionist pointed at Kid and then me. You will be fighting one another. Only the victor will be permitted to return to the mortal realm. Well, any questions? Who says you get to make the rules? I wasn't about to just go blindly go along with whatever this Ganju character said. Why would I need to fight Kid? Why should I? Because you're in the Colosseum, and if you wish to leave, you must abide by its rules. I have been searching for someone truly mighty. What? Now to battle. You must not keep your audience waiting any longer. As soon as he said this, the stands, which I could have sworn were empty a moment earlier, erupted with a deafening roar. But you are hardly dressed for the occasion, either of you. Let us see now. And suddenly we had both changed clothes. The greatest showdown of our times, Surge the Gladiator's Gladiator versus Kid the Walking Weapon. Let the games commence! And with that, he vanished. What the bloody hell's up? Kid suddenly erupted with a bright white glow. Light bathed her entire body as it grew in an instant to an enormous size. What the hell? When the light finally subsided, a giant, heavily muscled Cyclops stood where Kid had been only moments earlier. I looked down to see the sword that had appeared in my right hand and a shield in my left, and that I really was dressed like a gladiator. Claxon, thanks so much for the 100 bits, saying, I just realized I swapped between Lucario, Lucas, and Lucina in Smash. I thought it was a coincidence. But I had a crush on a girl named Lucy for a while. Well, after Smash Ultimate, so maybe you just have a predisposition. Apparently you just like to take the L. I suddenly felt my body suffused with enormous strength. Our competitor's preparations are complete. The illusionist's voice rang out over the roars of the crowd. Now fight! I'm imagining Mortal Kombat. Kid, well, the Cyclops, glared at me with a single massive eye. Let's see. Still doesn't matter what we do. Okay. I tried to talk to her. Kid, are you alright? Kid! I did my best to get through to her, but the walking weapon persona seemed to be in full effect. Are you in there? Can you hear me? I bellowed at the now enormous kid as loud as I could. For a moment, the creature, stopped in its tracks. She stiffened for a moment, then gave a deafening roar. Yeah, that's the one. And the next thing I knew, the creature's enormous fist was sailing down toward the air toward me. Kablam! I only just managed to get out of the way in time. Kid! I tried to reach her, but the Cyclops' eye just glowed with mindless menace as it turned to focus on me again. Turned and ran. The Cyclops lifted its fist and brought it down with mind-blowing force. Yeah, that. My legs shook with the impact of the beast's ear-splitting cry, but I summoned every ounce of strength I had and made a run for it. The Cyclops' fist smashed into the ground, but somehow I managed to spin to one side, just avoiding the blow. What happens if I run again? Swing for my life, I thought, so I might as well scream. The giant turned around and then followed after me with slow, lumbering footsteps. When I made it to the other side of the arena, I collapsed against the wall, panting for breath. From somewhere nearby, I heard the illusionist's voice. Running won't help, boy. Kid, come on, what do we even have to fight about? But she clearly didn't have any intention of halting her onslaught. Another massive fist came smashing down. I rolled to one side, only just managing to throw myself out of harm's way yet again. Alright, well, let's fight. I tried lifting the sword I held in my right hand. What the? I feel so strong. Normally I wouldn't have been able to handle a sword like this with two hands, let alone one. But here I was, able to swing it just as easily as I could wield a knife. I charged into battle, leaping at the giant's feet. I swung my sword at an exposed big toe. It gave a great cry of pain. I said, stop it! Another huge punch. I managed to block that one with my shield, but the impact sent me flying backwards. The Cyclops' foot came rushing down at me. Just narrowly avoided being squashed flat. The giant's fist plummeted down from overhead like a meteorite. A dull shock shot through my left arm. I just managed to catch the punch in time with my shield. My feet slid along the ground, leaving small mounds of sand behind them. My shield and my body stood fast against the blow. When did I get so strong? Power was welling up within me. I gave its outstretched arm a good slice with my sword just because I could. No, kid, you have to stop this. I threw away my sword and shield. They clattered to the ground beside me. I said, you have to stop, please. I shouted in desperation, my arms spread wide to show that I didn't mean to fight her anymore. I stared, pleading into that single eye, hoping desperately to get through. Speaking of L's, Klaxon, it's Leela. The hit I'd taken had been a big one, and it was all I could do to withstand the pain, but I gritted my teeth and kept on staring. It was no good, though. This wasn't going to stop. Without breaking its gaze, it swung another huge punch down at me from above. I'm done. There was no escaping this one. I was finished. I closed my eyes and tried to brace myself for impact. Wait, huh? Somehow the blow had failed to make contact. I looked up to see the fist stopped it just in front of me. No, it had been stopped by something that wasn't me. Mag! Magil had stepped in to block the blow for me at the very last moment. How did you get here? Never mind that now. Take some respite while you still can. But that creature up there, that's Kid. I know. Leave her to me. I was going to have to. Right at that moment, every ounce of strength drained out of me, and I collapsed helplessly to the floor. Is Kid gonna... Can you bring her back to normal? We'll see, came the non-committal reply. Magil braced himself for battle. Claxon, thank you so much for the 100 bits saying you're missing the coincidence. Luke S, Luke Cario, Lucina. Also just realized Luke is my favorite Chrono Trigger character, and I watch Luke Ajin. Oh wow, it goes even beyond L's. It's Luc. Dang. All was quiet as he stared the creature down. Suddenly, all the life faded from the Cyclops' eye. The ground shook as its massive body fell to the ground. Huh? And then Ganju's voice floated to us out of nowhere. It seems someone else has joined us here. Very well, very well. I'd been wondering if it might be time to bring proceedings to an end. And then there he was in front of us again. Now, beloved patrons of the Colosseum, lift up your voices in appreciation of the stunning spectacle these brave warriors have blessed us with today. Yeah, I basically ran and talked. An enormous roar went up from the stalls, though I still had the odd feeling that they were entirely empty. Now then, as he said this, the great Cyclops' body began to glow a brilliant white. It was so bright that I could barely see. And when the light faded, Kid was lying there in front of us. The wounds I had inflicted were gone. I breathed a sigh of relief at that. My wounds were mostly healed, and I had returned to my usual appearance. I really did enjoy every moment of that. Truly, the showdown between the gladiator's gladiator and the walking weapon was every bit of as electrifying as I'd imagined. I kind of doubt that. And you in particular, Serge, I believe you may possess the fortitude I have been seeking for so long. Would you permit me the honor of accompanying you on your journey? Party of 4. Heck yeah. Sure. Fear not, I shall not burden you too heavily with my presence. In fact, I am incapable of doing so. When you return to the place from whence you came, you must extract the crystal from the center of the great stone slab and take it with you. If ever you have need of the powers of the great Cyclops, simply speak your wish aloud and the creature shall be yours to command. Now let us return to your own world, all three of you. As soon as the words had passed Ganju's lips, everything went a brilliant light white once more. When the light subsided, we looked around to see that we were back in the secret chamber behind Lynx's room. What the hell just happened? Who knows? I felt like I'd just woken up after a big night at the Laughing Pig. Ugh. Kid was coming around. Hey, Kid, you alright? Kid, how you feeling? What the hell happened? Did I just have the weirdest dream of my life? She soon recovered her composure and began looking around the room. Whoa! When her eyes landed on the crystal in the slab, she let out a gasp of admiration. Something about the jewel shone even brighter than before. Get a load of this thing. I ain't walking out of here without it. No self-respecting thief would. She quickly pried it from the slab and slipped it into her pocket. All right, let's keep up the good work. There's plunder plenty in this old place, just like I knew there would be. Not pausing for a moment to wonder if anyone else shared her enthusiasm, she sauntered merrily from the room. My eyes met Magil's. She doesn't remember a thing, does she? Who knows? We followed Kid out of the room, now the proud owners of a mysterious illusionist crystal. Well, there we go. We joined Kid back in Lynx's room. As soon as we had all stepped back through the hole in the wall, the pile of sand stirred to life, as if it had been awaiting our return and flowed back to fill the cavity. It settled into place and hardened. To look at it, you'd think it was the same solid wall that had greeted us when we first entered. When Kid wrapped her knuckles on the place where the hole had been, all she got for her efforts was a cold, dead thud. She shrugged. Well, looks like we're about done here, boys. Shall we? And with that, we left Lynx's room behind us. Okay, now I can go back to the treasure room. Okay. Alright. Past that. Left passage toward the stairs. And from there, we need to take a left. Suddenly the darkness felt opaque, something like a thick haze floated in the air in front of us. And then it took form like someone blowing smoke into a person-shaped bottle. It was robed in a ragged shroud, and its sunken eyes glinted menacingly. It was a burning hatred that lingers even after death given form. A being driven by hatred for all living things. I feel like I should save. Can't save. A ghost! Bugger! That's us out. Kid bit her lip. There wasn't anything she or I could do to deal with an enemy that had no physical body. A voice boomed out behind me. Magil had begun casting a spell. My eyes met Kid's and Magil's, and without a word being exchanged between us, a plan was hatched. They both already seen an opening. Magil quickly lobbed the spell at the ghost to distract it, and we slipped away while its attention was elsewhere. We'd sorely underestimated it. As if anticipating our movements, the ghost slowly swelled in size, trapping us completely within spectral embrace. Damn it. The core of the ghost, where it's facing to be, had more substance than the rest of it. I didn't just slip through it like I thought I would. I oozed through it like I was stuck in some kind of goo. It slimed me. Ye gods, it was disgusting. More disgusting than anything I'd ever known. It was impossibly cold. It felt like it was draining all the heat right out of my blood, but it was draining my life force itself, in fact. I struggled to break free, but I could find no purchase in the gooey ectoplasm. The piercing chill became all the more bitter, so much so that I didn't even know what cold meant anymore. I could vaguely make out Kid and Magil through the ghost's body. What were they doing? Things were looking pretty bad for me. Surge, when I say Kid, what are the first words that come to mind? Asked Magil. I was suddenly snapped out of the haze. Oh, shoot. The bloody... I'll thank you not for going into count me undies, you filthy perv. No, thank you to stop making me wash them every week. Maybe if we get out of this mess, you'll do our own laundry for once. I'm gonna die. Kid's foot crashed with the ghost without a hint of ectoplasmic resistance, hitting me squarely in the back of the head. Don't make this harder than it needs to be, Surge. Oh, jeez. I don't know what they're asking for. God. Words of power filled my mind almost physical force. It was Magil. He was using my mind as a conduit to attack the ghost in the astral plane. With the explosion of energy and unutterable, unpronounceable words of power filled my surroundings and blasted away the cold haze. My head felt like it was going to boil from the blazing heat that surged through it. Yeesh. Surge? Why, Surge, you're still with us, mate? Someone's slapping me around the face. Someone who seemed to be enjoying it immensely. Kids, stop it, damn you. I leapt to my feet, wide awake again in an instant. Mag, did you really have to use me like that? When dealing with foes who attack the mind, it is simplest to lure them in with bait, then use their intended prey's consciousness as a conduit in order to make an assault from this astral plane. A direct magical attack would have meant a lengthy battle, a far less elegant solution, he replied without a trace of guilt. All right, let's keep moving. Kid gave the order, continue, seemingly completely oblivious to my brush with death. I think I eventually did it right. Yeah, I'm definitely a little hurt, but... yeah, that did not go well. I think I'm barely alive. That was a really unfortunate happening. All right. I read all this before. As soon as I saw what was inside, I gave a gasp. Kid stepped inside. Whoa, we've hit the mother lode. Out of the darkness loomed a veritable mountain of gold, silver, priceless works of art, and exquisite trinkets. Kid looked as if she were on the verge of drooling. Actually, I think this is all stuff we don't need to... hold on. Okay, I can skip all this until we get away from a trap. Okay. Yeah, I just saw the mention of a heal in all that fifth in line. We have to be careful. We got it. Covered in the dust. Well, that ain't good. She was supposed to touch nothing but the lamp. She touched something other. She's a boo. I mean, the plans of this trio work out about as well as plans for Luffy. So yeah, probably Fa. You're on the verge of death. There's death on the verge of you. I think we're about to find out. All these goblins. That's right. What the heck's a Hecarim? Hecarim. Well, he's a Hecarim, by heck. That proves it. There's no such thing as Hecarims. Let's save Kid. Oh god, 5 goblin guards. This might not go well. My younger brother was facepalming so hard at this part when he showed me where he was. Good night, Klaxon. Alright, this is the Gob Squad. Oh, come on. I'm gonna die. Every one of my every choice I've made has gone wrong. Oh my god. This is the first time I died in Radical Dreamers. Wow, every single choice I made was bad. That's almost impressive. I'm guessing running was probably a bad move. Can't believe I made the wrong choice in every case. Unreal. Just reminds me of math class where one of the teachers like, you get 100% if you get every single question wrong. Because you have to like know what you're doing in order to get every question wrong or something like that was his reasoning. I never got math. I liked the teacher, did not like the class. I don't know how much RNG is in these. It's really hard to tell. I have to imagine abandoning a kid is a bad idea, though. Damn ghost. You have set strings to load for which actions you should take for that encounter. Oh. Alright. If this goes poorly again, I'm leaving kid. Okay. Parrying didn't matter. Come on. Oh, this sucks. That ghost screwed me. Yeah, sorry, kid. I'm running from battle this time. I'm essentially useless. That's really annoying. Especially because there's so much dialogue. We still have a ways to go for all this. I'd say only about halfway through. I went for the complete opposite as far as that initial encounter, and it didn't matter. I still got hit. Unless it's just RNG each time. Like complete RNG. Got our mouse, the comments, of course. Jeez. Oh, I'm not supposed to. You guys looked even meaner than your average goblin. They clearly weren't taking any prisoners. I mean, all I've been doing is dying, kid. Oh, it didn't matter. Oh, good. Cool, it didn't matter. Lovely. Just gonna try to avoid each one. Can I not get past this section? Every dodge failed. Every single dodge failed. I hate that ghost. That ghost screwed me. Gotta attack at some point. Well, the dodge has to work at some point. I'll try all counters in this next one. I wish we could just fast forward the text. Screwed by Boo, yep. Because apparently I just, with this run through, I am just not able to dodge. Every time I've tried to dodge, it's not worked out. Really wish Kid had not taken that crown. It just says face the Gob Squad. It is just that random. Oh God. They probably weren't counting on us getting damage like that from the ghost. Boy. Alright, let's see what all counters do for us. Oh my god, we finally got a counter. Thank God it's finally working. Oh, thank God we survived. RPG site, this battle isn't like random encounters, there's no set way through it. It's basically random what the goblins will do, so choose whatever you feel right. Okay. Saving. Oh my God. We're out of here. Thank goodness. Clock tower. Towards the terrace. My God! Fine! Not fully. I can't believe this. Good. Okay, we actually managed to survive. Passed out in a moment. Exactly. Oh my god. Okay. Save again. Surviving these. Come on, to fight five goblins and then have to fight 5 more. What the heck? This should be the clock tower. After the first encounter, they get added to the encounter pool. Lovely. I just didn't think they'd get an encounter so soon. An old crone. Defiantly tell her she was right, I believe. Yes. Get kid's backstory. Yes, I am. Please do. And let's heal again. Save again, I should say. Okay. Need to go to the atrium, which means going downstairs. So we need to head towards the terrace. I don't remember Amy and I having this many encounters. I got healed and I still died in a single hit. Oh my god. I hope this ending's worth it. Because this is hell. This is truly hell. Okay, at least that encounter didn't happen this time. Keep following the corridor. Go down the stairs. We need to go to the atrium, so we want to take a left. Watch out for the fish. Here comes the Pteranodons. Back the way we came. Take a little damage. Okay. Alright, sculpture with the phenomenal beard. His mouth of truth. And now kids getting damaged. Lovely. Okay, we want to choose the hand-shaped plate. Saving again. Okay. Saving again because this game hates me right now. And we need to go down the stairs, so we want to go right. And we have the guard room, which is to the left. Oh, I want to go in the guard room. Did I make a mistake? Did something go wrong? I've seen screens of it, Kaiser. Did I need to check out the dungeon first? Let's go up the stairs. Yeah, I'm going to check out the dungeon first. Okay. Now let's go down the stairs. Let's get left. Yeah, we need to go to the dungeon first. Okay. Inside we go. Oh, this guy, the cultured goblin. Good night, Cat Evie. Take care. Good old Grismeld. Tea. Got healed, thank God. I can take a few more punches. Alright. He didn't like my story. Oh well. That's why I keep a dedicated save slot to the final section of the game. You can actually save to make sure you can get the new game plus runs quicker. Oh. Oh, she got some more tea. Save. Keep a save at the start of New Game Plus and just don't save over it. Makes sense. Okay, now to the dungeon. It is remarkable how much this is like, you know, the regular playthrough. The only difference has been that whole Coliseum section. We avoided getting hit. Alright, gotta find Riddell now. Remember the mouse in the kitchen that gives you the hint for the trap? I did test it, and optimizing for this route, you can just skip over it. I don't fully remember that, but I'm just going over all this. Alright, right towards the atrium. Continue on. Gotta go inside. I forgot that we show up in the mirror. Getting all this. It is an interesting story in itself. I've just, seen it before. Got the Einlanzer. Alright, that's it for that one. Yeah, the goblins really messed up this route. Alright, so up the stairs. Speaking of, we got a skeleton. Me and my injuries. Damn skeleton. Apparently I'm doing great though, so apparently between the tea and the other healing spell I'm in pretty good shape. Okay, up the stairs. And towards this terrace. We'll risk it. The Master Immune. Alright. Got ourselves that. Let's save before we get into any other encounters. Execution chamber. Down the rest of the way. So, right down the corridor. Continue on up the stairway. In we go. Nothing like entering an execution chamber. Although for us, that was the treasure vault. We're gonna die. All right. Now we go back to the dungeon after this. We're very close to the ending. Thank goodness. All right. Continue on. Continue on. Next will be the terrace. And then we should have the steps. Towards the atrium. Final hour so you can actively damage both your health and your relation to kid in one choice. Oh yeah, it's I don't know how much the relationship with kid matters, but yeah. Alright, old man is talking. So is Derrick working towards a new lasting game plus thing, or will there be another single session request? No, this is the last one. Submit on. Turn the third candlestick from the left and you enter the main hall. Certainly a darker story than what Chrono Trigger is. Alright. Back to the main hall. Continue on. Going up the stairs. And just to the right should be the main hall. I'm so friggin' nervous. Alright. It's the main hall, save before entering. Got it. Just to be sure. Things are happening. There's a hidden reference to this game in Cross that if you wait long enough to bring Kid to it and read it for the first time in that playthrough, she will recognize. Oh, really? I did not know about that. I really do need to replay Chrono Cross. Oh, the organ's out again. I do love all the little hints towards Chrono Trigger. This was, by the way, is the last point of the game you could save. Well, unfortunately, we saved before we went into the room. So just had it so dumb. We need to turn right 3 times. Left 2 times. And then right 2 times. We've locked in the ending. Suddenly my body felt light, and I staggered 2 or 3 steps forward. We were back in the deserted passageway we'd been walking down before the blood circle had appeared. The sigil had vanished from the floor, and everything was silent, as if nothing had ever been amiss. And then I looked up. Looks like we finally made it, boys. Kid strode up to the door with a wicked grin on her face. The true frozen flame awaits. Nigel's eyes gave a glint from behind his mask, like glass catching moonlight in the darkness of night. Let's go. Kid reached for the handle. She'd taken one look inside the room beyond the door and charged in, shouting at the top of her lungs. Magil and I followed behind her. In front of us stood a man with a very odd hairstyle. Tracked you down at last, Lynx. The great treasure we sought stood between us, a faint crimson light pouring off of it. The frozen flame. I almost yelped its name in my excitement. It would appear to be the jewel, yes. As if in response, the crimson glow seemed to intensify. Here you are at last. I'd begun to worry that you might never appear. Oh, there was never any danger of that. Thanks for hanging out down here at the rock we came to pinch, by the way. Makes things much easier. 2 birds with 1 stone. It's like all me birthdays have come at once. I thought we agreed we were only here for the frozen flame, Magil muttered discontentedly. Kid barreled on regardless, stepping forward and pointing boldly at Lynx. Sorry to have kept you waiting, Lynxy, but we're here now. So if you don't mind, we'll be knocking 10 bells out of you and taking the frozen flame home with us as a little memento. She was clearly very pleased with her little speech. You clearly do not lack self-belief, but I am afraid things may not end as well for you as you had hoped. He was grinning ominously. Initiate Mecha Lynx launch protocol? What the? At Lynx's command, a great hole began to open up in the floor between us. What the hell? It looked like an enormous lynx rose slowly from beneath. What the hell is that? The massive mechanoid launched into action, smashing into the ceiling with its huge bulk. Well, that definitely is different from the original. The entire roof collapsed and a great shower of rubble fell, revealing the full moon above us, hanging in the star-specked night sky. Whoa, what? No one told me about this bloody thing. The appearance of the robot had wrong-footed us all quite spectacularly. We stopped to think for a moment? I was doing my best to process the situation, but my mind was racing. There must be something we can do. Wait, of course! Kid, the crystal! This old thing? How's that going to help us? I grabbed it off her without offering an answer, and quickly started doing what I knew I had to do. Ganju, can you hear me? We need your help. We need your walking weapon thing. The answer was swift in coming. Your wish is my command. A blinding light flew forth from the crystal, and for a moment everything was drowned in white. This one's the weirdest one? Oh no. When our vision cleared, a vast bulk stood between us and Mecha Lynx. What the bloody heck is that thing? Kid couldn't believe her eyes. Well, you see, there's this illusionist, Ganju. He lives in the crystal, and, well, the specifics can wait. The creature is an ally. That's all you need to know for now. That thing's on our side? Nice. This should make things interesting. We'd better give it a name, huh? How about Paradius? Yeah, that's super cool. Paradius? All right. Kid quickly sized up the two massive beings. So it's Paradius versus Mecha Lynx. Oh my god. Lynx had grabbed the frozen flame and clambered inside his mechanical namesake. Testing. Is this thing on? Ahem. Wah! You expect to defeat me with that misbegotten wretch? Mecha Lynx will crush you. Mecha Lynx will crush you all. Dream on, mate. Your metal plate there will be good for nothing but scrap heat by the time Paradius is done with you. The two combatants faced off against one another in the moonlight glinting off their vast forms. It does feel like parody, yes. Prepare to die, Paradius. Not likely. Eat monster fish, you mecha moron. The giants crashed together, and the battle had begun. Power punch! Oh. Power punch! Go, Paradius! Use power punch! Paradius responded instantly to my command and swung at the mech with an enormous right hook. The punch connected perfectly, resulting in a huge explosion. But the Cyclops had hurt its hand. Killer kick! Paradius swung its leg like a club, smashing into Mecha Lynx with earth-shaking force. The Cyclops' roar of agony filled the moonlight sky. Mecha Lynx barely seemed to have felt the blow. Wah! Witness the immovable might of Mecha Lynx. Damn it, how is that thing still standing? Come on, Paradius, don't fail us now. You need to be careful, Paradius. Mecha Lynx fired off a huge rocket punch. Watch out, Paradius. He heard me just in time and dodged the blow by a hair's breadth. We're basically playing Pokemon. Hey, Oscar. But these rocket punches were just as dangerous on the return journey, and this one was making a beeline for Paradius from behind. Paradius, behind you! But I was too late this time. It slammed with full force into Paradius' belly. This Mecha Lynx ain't messing around. Paradius let loose with its left. Now it hurt its left hand too. The giant launched a low kick with its left leg. Great idea, Paradius. That'll knock the thing off its feet. Mecha Lynx hadn't even flinched. Paradius' leg was now bent at a second angle. This is not going well. Struth, this thing's tough as all hell. Kid sounded almost impressed. You have to get out of the way, Paradius. Mecha Lynx's chest opened up and a row of missiles emerged from within. No, Paradeus, get out of the way! They raced off one after another, and flew straight towards the three of us. Look out, bloody hell! We're done for! Huh? Paradeus had stepped in front of us to take the missiles full in the chest. There was no way that hadn't done some serious damage. The poor creature screamed in agony. Damn you, Lynx! But the fight wasn't over yet. Paradeus beam! This Mecha Lynx is a serious problem. What are we gonna do, kid? What are you asking me for? You're the one telling Paradeus what to do. But, no, you're right. Maybe if I gave the heavily injured Paradeus the order to end all orders. Unleash the Paradeus beam! Yes, the beam. The beam that didn't exist. What the heck, Surge? Shut up, you're not helping. While all this was going on, Mecha Lynx had launched into its next maneuver. This time we really were done for. It seems I have no choice. Magil stepped forward. Hear me, Paradeus. Mecha Lynx had initiated an attack. It was only a matter of moments now. It's time. Unleash Raging Apocalyptic Inferno of Extremely Certain Death. Raging Apocalyptic Inferno of Extremely Certain Death? Good night, lass. A huge fireball was emerging from Paradeus' mouth. It flew towards Mecha Lynx. The resulting explosion blew Mecha Lynx to smithereens. Yes, not bad, Madge. We had defeated the mighty Mecha Lynx. Thanks so much, Paradeus. Yeah, nice one, big guy. That was quite the showdown. We had nothing but gratitude for our enormous friend. Right on your way, mate. We'll take it from here. Although Kid was quick to forget the social niceties as ever, there was a blinding white flash and Paradeus was gone. Right, now to find us a jewel. She began rooting through the wreckage of Mecha Lynx. Do you think the frozen flame will still be in one piece? I asked Magil. Undoubtedly, it is no ordinary gemstone. Kid was running around all over the place, rooting through piles of debris. Bingo. It seems she found it. We went over to her. She was standing by the remains of the driver's seat. Lying amongst the wreckage was Lynx himself, or what little remained after he'd been frazzled. Yep, here we go. And with that, she plucked the jewel, crimson light still pouring out of it from somewhere in the corpse's vicinity. The frozen flame was ours at last. It was beautiful, so much so that it didn't seem possible that it could be of this world. Would you mind awfully if I had a look? That voice came from the crystal. I fear your prison may pale in comparison. So saying, Magil held the crystal out toward the frozen flame. Truly, it is wondrous. To have been able to encounter such splendor is a blessing indeed. I was right to throw my lot in with you, your little band. The voice seemed to be quavering with wonder. And on that note, plink, the crystal shattered. All that remained in Magil's hand were fragments and dust. But what the heck do you think you're doing, Madge? How are we supposed to call old Paradeus next time we need a hand, huh? And that thing was definitely worth a bunch, too. Honestly, I can't take you anywhere. All is as it should be. It was a familiar voice, but this time it wasn't coming from the remains of the crystal. Once the spirit inhabiting it moves on to a new jewel, the old one dies. This is as it was meant to be. It was coming from the frozen flame. What do you mean? When we find ourselves a new jewel to inhabit, we stone dwellers take on the attributes of our new homes. Thus do we travel the world from place to place, from gem to gem in search of ever greater power. And there is no greater power than that of this stone. It is more wondrous than I had even dared to dream. Perhaps you might join me here. Regardless, I now have the power to aid you by calling on an even greater beings than the Cyclops. Kid squinted as she tried to peer inside the jewel. So now you're inside this thing. Does that mean it'll be weaker because you're using up all its magic power? Thankfully, my dear, it does not. Good, because we can't have you going anywhere now that you're inside it. Break the frozen flame, mate, and I'll find a way to break your head. You mark me words. Very well. And with that, the conversation was over. Kid tucked the stone into her pocket and stood to leave. Right, frozen flame bagged, Lynx burned to a crisp. I'd say that's a mission accomplished, wouldn't you? Indeed. All right. What now? An excellent question. What now, kid? What do you think, you pair of drongos? There's heaps of jewels still out there, ain't there? Just sitting there waiting for us to come and swipe them. Wouldn't do for us to keep them waiting now, would it? Come on, boys. Our thieving days are only just beginning. And there we go. That's certainly a way to end it. And so ends another tale. Perhaps one day I'll see the strange and terrible Paradeus again. One day. Somewhere, at another time, in another world. Perhaps none of us will even realize it. But that's a story for another day. For now, I must put down my pen. I closed my grandfather's diary. And then from downstairs I heard my mother calling. Did you hear me? Your friend's here. Nimble footsteps charged up the stairs. The door flew open. In tumbled a young girl. A girl who seemed somehow familiar. Hey Serge, it's a beautiful day for adventuring. I found a rundown old manor off in the woods to the north. You want to go exploring? Come on, put the book down and let's go get out there. Hey, Obama. Sometimes our timing can go pretty well, Fa. That was a lot of effort to get a mech battle. What a strange ending. If you want to save your completed New Game Plus save file, you can do one more continue then save. If you want to watch the secret ending, we can do that. Yeah, the audio was broadcasted separate, which is how it got voice acting in BS Zelda. First time Zelda got a voice actor. That should not have been as hard as it was. that ghost screwed things up for us. I was doing poor when it came to picking options. Like, good God. By the way, another JRPG that's getting mobile to regular game conversion is another Eden. Masato Kato, the writer-director of this game in CC, is also the writer of that game, and Matsuda is one of the musicians. It's also another time-traveling game, and the regular game version will have a New Game Plus that is alternate endings. How fitting. Huh, that's cool. The funny thing is, Kaiser, I've never technically... in order to get that ending, do you need to beat it with the Chrono Cross? Or just get a ending? Because when I played it long ago on the PlayStation 1, I could not get the Chrono Cross off. I was just not clicking in my head and it just never worked. So I just beat it regularly because I was so frustrated. So many flamingos. Yeah, you did fifth. Yeah, there's a new ending for this version of the Game Time Sage. Only if you beat both the Chrono Cross and if you could beat both Chrono Cross and Radical Dreamers. Just gotta watch the staff credits after releasing both games. Wonder how long it took to figure that out. And this ending was called Paradeus the Mystery Mega Weapon, of course. Oh boy. There we go. All right. Let's bring that up real quick and then we'll call it. Let's see. I just muted it, by the way. All right. Almost got it set up. All right. Let's see what this new ending is all about. Sorry, just adjusting so I can see you guys while I watch this ending as well. All right. Yeah, I'm sure I got a little screwy there. Anyway. Wow, you actually found it earlier, Kaiser. That's impressive. The time was near. The final battle awaited. There, alone in the shadows, the man lingered. His partners, a young man and a young woman, had already made their preparations and were waiting for him at the place they had agreed upon. Oh God! Finishing work and only need to be back in 6 hours. That's ridiculous, Egg Roll. I'm so sorry. Their foe was a fearsome opponent indeed. Would the three of them be able to defeat him? There was only one way to find out. All the better. What fun is a battle whose outcome is all but certain? The man reached a hand to his mask, silver and unembellished, save for a few subtle details. It had been many long years since he last revealed his face. Did he wear the mask to hide himself from others, or did he wear it to hide from hide from himself? Jeez, screwed up that line. Enough time had passed that not even he was sure anymore. But it didn't matter now. The end was coming, an end to everything. Soon his long days of wandering would be over. So too would the girl's ill-fated fleeting existence. The man with the mask is definitely Magil. How many years had passed? How many centuries? Yeah, definitely Magus. How much love and prayer? How much hatred and rancor? How much despair and resignation had slowly and silently fallen over him, piling up like snow? You definitely learn some things about Kid playing through Chrono Cross that makes more of a connection. On that fated day, long, long ago, everything that he had vanished, faded away into nothingness without so much as a whimper. There was nothing he could have done to stop it, but one memory stayed with him, even after everything else fell away. One unforgettable image. That kingdom of winds forever lost, those blessed days in a paradise above the clouds, and that face, her gentle, bittersweet smile. Oh, this is absolutely Magus. Perhaps his time behind the mask was coming to an end. The funny thing is, this applies both to Chrono Cross and Radical Dreamers. His icy gaze seemed to thaw for a moment, and then he sprang into action. The moonlight flashed across the mask's surface. His silvery hair flowed behind him, reaching out like the tail of a comet. The time has come, O fated star. The king has returned. And with that, he vanished into darkness. Though a life may end, a story lives on. Not forever, perhaps, but... what's eternity compared to this moment in time? So based on the wording, it sounds like this is made to specifically connect to the ending. Whoops. Connect to Chrono Trigger ending 13. Yeah, it seems like a way to tie both Radical Dreamers and Chrono Cross together. So that's really interesting. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a third game. Maybe Chrono Break will finally come. No. It won't happen. But it's intriguing. It's definitely intriguing. I had fun with this, though. It was really interesting to see what was coming in. It was definitely a nightmare to take care of all those enemies. That sucked. But that was the only bad part of the whole thing. Yeah, it's not a surprise that I mean, people have known about the Giles Magus for a while. Well, that is rather interesting. Hey, Heroes Live. We just finished up our playthrough. There we are. Let's get to a good spot. Before we move on, I do have a question specifically for you, Simidon, because right now, your request of Dissidia Duodecim is next in line. However, you also have two other Duodecims requests a little bit later. So I guess my question for you is, do you want to have it one now and the two later, or do you want to have the three back to back to back to back? Because that'll change what we're playing next week. depending on your choice. One now, two later, perfectly fine. I can do that. I can do that, Tibidon. So yeah, in that case, we'll be back on Saturday and Sunday for our continuation of Danganronpa V3 as we go through Chapter 5. Monday will be the more Control. Wednesday, more Mega Man Network transmission. And on next Thursday, we'll be playing some Dissidia Duodecim, courtesy of Simidon, which I believe we've reached a point where we're finally playing as Tifa. Maybe? I can't remember who we have left. It's been a while. So we'll see about that. So should be quite a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. Kane and Tifa. Perfect. Let's see if we can raid real quick. As our music goes crazy. Oops, that's what I meant to pick. Just hit continue so we don't have any of that. All I have right now for me is Vash playing the new Assassin's Creed remake. Yeah, let's go with Cum Paradius. Or Paradeus, whatever. Yeah, we'll go with Vash. Alright, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Looking forward to seeing you more for more Danganronpa over the weekend. Otherwise, should be fun to return to another long-standing game that we've been playing with these single sessions with Dissidia Duodecim. So look forward to all of that. And until then, everyone, bye.